Richard Goodall's life has been hit with heartbreaking news, casting a shadow over the incredible talent he is known for. Richard became a sensation after singing "Don't Stop Believing" on television, where his powerful voice touched the hearts of people everywhere. Born and raised in a small Indiana town, Richard swept floors before his singing swept across the internet, gaining him recognition. Behind his booming voice lies a life full of unexpected twists and heavy burdens. What could have brought such a promising star back to despair? The truth is more devastating than anyone could have imagined, and this is only the beginning of a story that will shock you. Richard's journey started in Indiana, in a community that may not have been wealthy, but was rich in emotional support. From a young age, Richard was drawn to music. He discovered his talent while singing alone to tunes from his old stereo in his room. These quiet moments nurtured a distant dream, a dream that grew with every song he sang in solitude. However, Richard had no idea that a shocking revelation was about to change his life forever. High school opened new doors for him, especially when he joined the school choir, which helped him refine his voice. Later, he joined a gospel choir, where he sang for 8 years. Then, something unexpected happened. The coronavirus pandemic hit, and the choir could no longer meet. But this was not the worst part. While Richard always dreamed of making a difference through music, reality hit hard. He needed a stable job, and college was too expensive to consider. With limited options, Richard became a janitor at Chauncey Rose Middle School. Some might have seen this as giving up on his dreams, but for Richard, the job provided security while allowing him to continue dreaming. For over 20 years, he maintained the school, ensuring it was clean and welcoming. Though his tasks were simple, he never lost his love for music, often singing while he worked. His voice echoed through the halls, touching the hearts of students and teachers alike. Richard's talent did not go unnoticed. The students and staff at the school were deeply moved by his singing, and they encouraged him to share his voice with the world. Their support transformed his daily routine into something special, and Richard became affectionately known as Mr. Richard to everyone who heard him. During school events, particularly on Veterans Day, Richard would sing "God Bless the USA" by Lee Greenwood. His heartfelt performances moved many to tears and inspired others to pursue their own dreams. His voice not only displayed his talent but also uplifted those around him, uniting the community. With the encouragement of local fans, Richard took a significant step toward his dreams. His fame as the singing janitor spread beyond his town, eventually leading him to the stage of America's Got Talent. There, people across the country witnessed the man who had turned every challenge into a stepping stone. Many people might consider Richard's job as a janitor as unimportant, but he never felt that way. He believed his role at Chauncey Rose Middle School gave him a unique opportunity to impact students' lives. Though his work was simple, he saw it as a chance to teach children valuable lessons like respect and gratitude, which he considered more important than any classroom subject. Richard often spoke about how saying, "Yes, sir," "No, sir," "Please," and "Thank you," were not just good manners, but values he could pass on, even as a janitor. This attitude reflected not only how seriously he took his job but also his deep desire to contribute to his community. His dedication to his work and his love for music showed how committed he was to serving others while following his dreams. As he grew older, Richard faced many challenges, but he never gave up on his passion for music. This determination led to a big question: could his love for singing one day take him from the hallways of a middle school to a larger stage that could change his life? But this wasn't the worst part. Richard had tried to break into the music industry before. He auditioned for America's Got Talent back in 2009 and also tried out for The Voice, but both attempts ended in rejection. These failures shook his confidence, making him question his abilities. However, the students at his school never let him forget his talent, encouraging him to try again. Finally, Richard decided to give America's Got Talent another shot. In 2024, Richard found himself standing on the big stage of America's Got Talent. It felt like both an ending and a new beginning. As he faced the famous judges, Simon Cowell, Sofia Vergara, Heidi Klum, and Howie Mandel, Richard was overwhelmed with nerves. The experience of standing before such well-known judges and a live audience was daunting. But he knew this was his moment to prove himself. Simon Cowell noticed his nervousness and encouraged him to shake it off, while the audience cheered him on. Richard took a deep breath and began singing, "Don't Stop Believing." Initially, there was doubt in the room, but as his voice filled the air, skepticism gave way to surprise and admiration. But this wasn't the best part. The reaction to his performance was immediate and overwhelmingly positive. Simon Cowell nodded approvingly, Heidi Klum clapped, and Howie Mandel smiled widely. The crowd cheered loudly, many rising to their feet in applause. Richard's years of dedication and practice were finally being recognized. When he finished singing, the room buzzed with excitement. Simon Cowell praised him, saying that America would love his heartfelt performance. Howie Mandel commented on the genuineness and love in Richard's performance. It seemed as though Richard was on the brink of something bigger. Then came a moment Richard had only dreamed of. Moved by his performance, Heidi Klum pressed the golden buzzer, showering Richard in golden confetti. Overwhelmed with emotion, Richard wept tears of joy. This was the validation he had been yearning for after years of hard work and passion. But the surprises did not end there. After the performance, Richard shared with the crowd that he had never even been on a plane before flying to California for the show. His journey from a janitor in Indiana to a performer on one of the biggest stages in the world was like a dream come true, a powerful reminder that passions can take us to places we never imagined. However, a phone call home revealed mixed emotions about his sudden fame. Richard, overjoyed by his win, quickly called his fiancée, Angie, to share the exciting news. Angie, filled with pride, was not surprised that his beautiful voice had earned him the golden buzzer. However, she couldn't be there to celebrate with him due to financial difficulties, which added a touch of sadness to the otherwise joyous moment. The unforgettable moment was recorded and posted on YouTube, capturing the hearts of people around the world. Among the comments were messages from Richard's students, expressing their admiration and support. One student wrote about how lucky she felt to have cheered him on, calling Richard a hero and describing his voice as a wonder that brightened her school days. Another student from a nearby school echoed similar sentiments, stating that there couldn't have been a more deserving person to win. But this wasn't the best part. The general sentiment was clear: Richard had won more than just the golden buzzer, he had touched countless lives. His performance was not only about his singing, it conveyed a powerful message of hope, perseverance, and the importance of chasing one's dreams. After his performance, Richard had an emotional backstage chat with the show's producers. Through tears, he reflected on his journey, saying, "I'm just a regular guy, the one who cleans the tables, takes out the trash, and sweeps the floors." Despite his modest role, he never stopped singing to the students, continuing to do what he loved, just like in the song, "Don't Stop Believing." But this wasn't the worst part. Given Richard's humble job as a janitor, America's Got Talent stepped in to cover his expenses for the competition. However, Richard still faced challenges with other costs, such as plane tickets and accommodations for his support team. Despite these obstacles, Richard's passion and determination shone through, proving that no matter where you start, it's possible to rise to new heights. Seeing this, a community member from Toyota, Indiana, named Chris Bond, started a GoFundMe campaign to gather extra support for Richard. Chris's message asked the community to stand by their local hero, saying, "Let's give Toyota, Indiana's AGT Golden Buzzer winner, our support." The goal was to help Richard focus fully on his performances without worrying about money, and hopefully bring his family and friends along to support him. The community's response was incredible. The fundraising campaign was launched on May 30, 2024, and by July 19, the goal was not only met but exceeded, raising an impressive $119,000. This outpouring of support showed just how deeply Richard had touched people's hearts with his story and talent. It was their way of saying thank you to him for inspiring them and helping him continue his journey on the show. But this wasn't all. This collective effort meant Richard had everything he needed to move forward in the competition, backed not only by America's Got Talent but also by a community that now saw him as a symbol of hope and strength. The support was more than just money. It was a powerful show of unity and belief in the great potential found in even the most unexpected places. Richard's journey had become more than a personal dream. It was now a shared experience for many who saw a bit of themselves in his story. People believed that if Richard, a janitor from a small town, could achieve something so big, then maybe they could, too. And this belief kept growing stronger with each step he took on his path, supported by a world that had come to cheer for him, not just because of his voice, but because of the heart behind it. As opportunities came his way, Richard stayed true to his roots, facing a big question about what comes next. Despite all the praise and new fame, Richard Goodall, the humble janitor from Toyota, Indiana, stayed down to earth. When people asked him if all this attention might make him proud or vain, he just laughed and said he had never been one for fancy things. His performance video on YouTube had already reached over 19 million views, making it the most watched clip of the season on America's Got Talent. The world was amazed by Richard's singing, but they had only seen a small part of his story and the struggles he faced to get there. Richard's journey to this point was one of persistence, strength, and a steady commitment to his dreams. While many people his age might have been content with a quiet life, Richard was determined to keep chasing his musical dreams. He had always wanted to share his voice with more people, and America's Got Talent finally gave him the chance to make that dream come true. But this wasn't his first try. Back in 2009, Richard had auditioned for America's Got Talent, filled with hope and excitement. He was ready to show the world his musical talent, but things didn't go as planned. He was cut after the first audition in Chicago. This rejection left him feeling sad and defeated, but it also made him more determined. Instead of giving up, he decided to try again, sending a video of himself singing "Don't Stop Believing" to The Voice. But this wasn't the worst part. The response he received was another disappointment. The email from The Voice thanked him for his interest, but said he wouldn't be moving forward. This news hit him hard, especially since he was used to hearing praise for his singing. He began to doubt himself and even felt like giving up. He took to social media to express his frustration, saying he deserved a chance and that it seemed unfair how the entertainment industry often favored younger singers. His post quickly gathered support from his fans, who agreed with him and criticized The Voice for their choices. Still, Richard held on to hope. The students he saw every day at school kept cheering him on, reminding him of his talent. Their belief in him helped him find the strength to try again, and eventually, he decided to return to America's Got Talent. But what sparked this renewed interest in his talent? The answer came in a surprising moment in 2022. At a talent show for 5th graders at Davis Park Elementary School, Richard was asked to perform a closing song. He chose "Don't Stop Believing" instead of his usual "God Bless the USA" to inspire the kids to follow their dreams. In jeans, a ball cap, and his janitor's keys jangling at his side, Richard sang with all his heart, and the room lit up. The kids, who hadn't expected much, started dancing and cheering, joined by the adults in the audience. But this wasn't all. Unbeknownst to Richard, a staff member named Mariah Dean recorded his performance and posted it on TikTok. The video showed not just his amazing singing but also his ability to touch and inspire others with music. The very next day, Mariah told Richard that the video had already gotten over 100,000 views. Within a week, it had reached more than 1 million, surprising everyone who watched and revealing the incredible voice of a janitor who loved to sing. This unexpected success online was the break Richard needed. Suddenly, people everywhere were noticing his talent, including some big names in the music world. Even Steve Perry, the former lead singer of Journey, saw the video and was moved by Richard's heartfelt version of the song he made famous. But that wasn't the end. Richard's hometown of Toyota came together to celebrate his success. Local businesses and community leaders organized a special send-off party. At the event, he was showered with gifts, including a lifetime supply of dressing from Mullen's restaurant. But the most surprising moment was when country singer Walker Hayes, touched by Richard's humble spirit and talent, gave him a brand new car. For years, Richard Goodall's singing voice filled the empty hallways of the school where he worked as a janitor. His deep, warm voice carried his feelings and life stories to the few students who happened to hear him while he cleaned. Music was his way to express himself and find comfort in the routine of his daily work. Though he had an incredible talent, Richard never thought of becoming a professional singer. It seemed like a distant dream, something that he believed had already passed him by. But everything changed when his co-workers encouraged him to audition for America's Got Talent. At first, Richard wasn't sure. However, with their kind words and support, he finally decided to give it a shot. He chose to sing Elton John's "Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me," a song that held a lot of personal meaning for him. As he sang, the audience was spellbound by the emotion in his voice, feeling every note along with him. The moment he finished, the room exploded with applause. Even Simon Cowell, the usually tough judge, seemed genuinely moved. "Richard, where have you been hiding all these years?" Simon asked, sounding both amazed and curious. The other judges shared Simon's admiration, praising Richard's performance and unanimously sending him to the next round. But this wasn't the only surprise. Richard's audition clip went viral, turning him from a humble janitor into a national sensation almost overnight. Social media buzzed with clips of his performance, and news stories quickly spread about the quiet janitor with the voice of an angel. Suddenly, Richard found himself facing new opportunities he had never imagined. In the days after his TV appearance, Richard was flooded with offers. One of the first came from a local recording studio that wanted to help him make an album. "We want to share your gift with the world," the producer told him. Feeling both nervous and excited, Richard stepped into a professional studio for the very first time, ready to take on this unexpected new chapter of his life. But that wasn't the best part. Soon after, Richard was invited to perform at different places, from charity events to music festivals. A talent agent from Los Angeles reached out, convinced that Richard's voice could touch millions. Inspired by this belief in his potential, Richard agreed to work with the agent, opening the door to a real music career. With the support of his family and friends, Richard fully embraced his new path. He released his first album, a mix of soulful songs and classic hits, which received great reviews. As his music career took off, he traveled around the country, performing with well-known artists and winning over new fans everywhere he went. Despite his quick rise to fame, Richard never forgot his roots. He often returned to Teyote, visiting the school where he had worked for so many years. "I'll never forget where I came from," Richard said in an interview. "This school, these students, they're a part of who I am." But his story doesn't end here. Richard's journey is more than just about becoming famous, it's about holding on to dreams and how life can surprise us with new chances. From singing alone in school halls to performing for thousands, Richard Goodall's story is a reminder that the most amazing talents can be found in the most unexpected places, just waiting for their moment to shine. Thank you for watching. Do talent shows unfairly favor sensational stories over true talent? Share your thoughts, like, comment, and subscribe for more content.